underachievers, today we're gonna do something a little bit different, and by a little bit different, I mean probably the same as a lot of what we've talked about. I have been on testosterone since May 2018, which is over 7 years, and it may not look like it, but I promise you I have had at least most of the changes, and we're going to rate those changes today, not on a tier list, but we're gonna let you know whether or not I personally would smash or pass them. So this is all about my interests, my personal preferences. If you don't agree with them, let me know in the comments, but just to let you know, you will be wrong. But you know what I definitely would smash? These toys from Blesa. That's absolutely right. I've mentioned these guys before, but me and my friends at Blesa are giving away free vibrators to literally everybody that enters my giveaway in the description below. As you may be aware, Blesa is a bi-woman company for all things sexual wellness, and their mission is to empower everybody to explore, embrace, and celebrate their sexuality. So the toys that I'm about to show you arrived when I had about like 4 friends around, and I can't lie, I unboxed them, everybody was curious about what I was being sent, and no word of a lie, we were all completely baffled, not just at the quality, but also at how quiet they are. It's like quite disturbing how quiet they are. So first up, we have the Whisper Bullet, which if you know anything about bullets, it's absolutely a classic, but this one is very, 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 very silent. Like, this is how loud full power is, and it's definitely not weak. It has 5 different vibration speeds and is absolutely tiny. This one is definitely the best one if you're like going away for a weekend or you're going on holiday and you want to be real discreet about bringing something like this with you. And this is absolutely a running theme with the Whisper collection, because if we follow up on the next one, which is definitely bigger, we have the Whisper Vibe, which you'd think because it's so much bigger, it should be so much louder, but you would be wrong. This is literally as loud as it gets. Like, this is full power. This one has 6 vibration speeds, so 1 more than the Bullet, and honestly, you will never find anything this powerful, this quiet anywhere else. Also, the texture and the feel of this is not like anything else I've seen, but it's so wiggly. And I know a lot of people can get quite intimidated by this sort of stuff, but believe me, this one is so soft that this is not gonna hurt you. Next, we have what I think is the most impressive of the Whisper collection. It's the Whisper Rabbit. It has 2 independently adjustable stimulators, which we're aware is a winning combo. And again, it's mysteriously silent. I don't know how it's this quiet at full power. This is insane. I honestly have no idea how they've made this so quiet but this powerful, because believe me, this thing packs a punch. And last but certainly not least, we have the absolutely iconic Rose toy, which if you've been literally anywhere on the internet, especially Twitter, it's under all the tweets, this is like a viral toy. And these bad boys are not popular for no reason. It is screwed up how powerful this thing is. The suction on this thing is absolutely insane. Even the first setting, like a lot of the time stuff like this, you have to go like 2-3 clicks up. First setting, just try it out. I've honestly never met or spoken to anybody that I would discuss this type of thing with that has said that they've been disappointed with a Rose. And specifically this one, it has a particularly large hole, which for people that are on testosterone, you will definitely appreciate. So there you go. Those are all the toys that I've been sent from Blesa today. Again, if you want to enter the giveaway and win a free toy, click that link in the description below. So the first testosterone change that I feel like most people are excited about is the voice drop. Obviously, we've all seen the voice drop compilation.
Hey, I'm Noah, and this is my voice pre-T.
Obviously, we're smashing voice drop. How could we do anything else? Although, to be fair, maybe there's a bit more nuance about this. I know plenty of trans guys whose voices have not dropped as much as they wanted them to. There's plenty of trans guys that I had a voice deeper than them after 5 years on testosterone, and then they started testosterone and immediately dropped way quicker than mine. I'm talking to you, Phoenix Stone. F you for that. But we can't deny that the voice drop is the most important part of testosterone. The thing that people most want, so it's gonna be smash. In terms of where on the smash meter, in terms of like, am I sexually attracted to it? Yes. Am I romantically attracted to it? Yes. Would I have a friendship with it? Yes. A platonic relationship with it? Yes. Would I go polyamorous for voice drop? Yes, I would. So that's definitely up there. So that's probably number 1 in terms of smash or pass. I think I love this change so much, I would create a sexuality for it and a flag. What flag would it be? Voice drop, something masculine, something man. It would be brown and orange, just with a downwards arrow.
Also doubles for the bottom flag.
Next, smash or pass, we're gonna start with the beginning of the alphabet, and we have acne. 3, 2, 1, do you think I'm gonna smash or pass it? 3, 2, pass, obviously. I'd say an aspect of having the testosterone acne, I'm very lucky that I didn't have it bad. I just got real oily and real greasy, which was not fun, but I felt like I was a teenage boy, even... Yeah, I was 19. It felt like I lived that teenage boyhood that I never had. But I feel like there's also a bit of nuance in this one, because what is better than popping a spot? And what is better than popping several spots? And I know that if you started testosterone before you've got top surgery, if that's something you want, the combo of a binder and testosterone oil is absolute banger. There will be so many spots on your chest. If you haven't started testosterone yet and you bind, there'll be even more spots on your chest than you could ever imagine. I did not enjoy having boobs, obviously. the only benefit of having boobs was the spots upon them that I could pop. So if that's your kind of thing, if you're into that, you're pop sexual, whatever, if you're a pimple guy, I would recommend testosterone. If you're a girl even and you're just really into pimple popping and you've run out of those videos because you've seen them all like me, I would recommend testosterone. Next up in the alphabet for testosterone changes, if you haven't seen my ABCs of testosterone video, go check that out now. Next in the alphabet is I, for increased sweating. I would usually say pass for this. I'm not a fan of body odor, not a fan of sweating, and I thought everybody felt the same until I met one really spicy couple. They've since broken up. But I was in a park this one time, and the girl was just like, you know what, I just love the smell of his sweat. I guess increased sweat would be a smash if you're a fan of BO. For me personally, not a fan of strong smells. So I would say pass for increased sweat, because I was already a pretty sweaty guy. I had like really sweaty hands, I always have. Sweaty back, I was not one of those people, like I was an athlete, I was a sports scholar. When I exercised, I barely sweated at all before I had testosterone in my body. As soon as I started testosterone, I'd wake up soaked, completely soaked, disgustingly soaked, really sweaty, really horrible. Next up on the smash and pass of testosterone, we have thicker skin. So if you were to ask one of my best friends, Club, how they felt about me growing thicker skin, they started crying because they used to like stroke my arm because it was like really soft. I had like real supple like baby skin. It's the kind of thing you don't notice every single day, but when it's happened, and you'll be very aware of it. The thin the skin thickness is insane. Like it makes your face look bigger. It makes your arms look bigger. It just removes the soft skin. I would say mostly smash. I feel like I'm like less sensitive, and I'm autistic, so I've been real sensitive to sensory my entire life.
Does that also mean you have thicker skin in like a more
emotional
sense?
Well, funny you ask that, because the next smash or pass is anger. We've gone AIA on the alphabet. Am I asshole? Yes. Because you may get a little bit angry on testosterone. For a long time, I couldn't really cry as soon as I started testosterone, and I wasn't sure if it was because I was like generally happier. So I wouldn't say I really experienced anger. I've been more angry from ADHD meds than I have from testosterone. Back in the day, when some of my friends were making testosterone update videos, I remember specifically one of them made a whole video about how angry he was on 2 months of testosterone. So depends on the person. I would say it's a pass for me. I'd also say it's kind of a smash, because instead of being sad and crying about things, I would be angry and cry about things. And I feel like you let out more emotion when you're angry about something than when you're sad. Next up, we have muscle growth. Can we guess? 3, 2, 1? Smash! Obviously smash. I was a weenie little motherfucker. I know if you're watching this and you haven't started testosterone, you're probably also a weenie motherfucker. The thing about muscle growth is some people start testosterone and they immediately look more jacked, even if they're not exercising. Whereas some people, it's barely apparent that they've grown any muscle. I was exercising after I got top surgery, which was like 6 months after I started testosterone, and I noticed gains, but mostly just like I liked how different my body was shaped. I don't think there's any negatives about muscle growth. I've never met a trans man that's like, no, I'm too strong. Kind of following along from that, we have body fat redistribution, which I would say 99% is a smash, absolute smash. For those of you that don't know, if you start testosterone, this change kind of happens like after a year. It doesn't usually happen before your first year on testosterone. But what it means is that the way that your body holds fat will redistribute to that of a masculine frame. If you're born a lady or a girl or a toddler, if you're born a female toddler, where am I going with this? After a bit of exercise or that, it will redistribute from holding more in your butt.
Baby, I'm crushed.
And it will go more to your stomach. You can't break your bones, you can't change the shape of your bones, but if your body redistributes its fat in a nice way, you'll have less hip and more belly, which I would say is gender affirming. Women have beer bellies, yeah, but I'd say when we think of dad bod, when we think of beer belly, we're thinking man. So, you know, even...
What are you saying? I don't think you've said anything that makes sense in like 2 minutes.
I'd say overall it's a smash. I'd say overall I would smash body fat redistribution. Next up, I'd say this is purely a pass unless you're into piss or any of those sort of related things. Literally the day after I started testosterone, I woke up the next morning, depression completely gone, obviously not. But I woke up the next morning, went for my morning piss, and it reeked. It smelled like a men's bathroom. Purely a pass, I would say. I'm not a fan of the strong smell of piss. I don't like being overwhelmed by my own bodily functions. Next up, we have one of my favorite changes, and for some reason, every time I talk about this, I have to preface it by being like, apparently this is controversial because I've seen a lot of discussion about people not wanting bottom growth. Bottom growth, I would say, is like up there with voice drop. It was like top surgery, voice drop, bottom growth for me. If you have dysphoria about your area down there, it may fix it, to be honest. I know people that have like no dysphoria after getting bottom growth. It won't completely solve it, but what it will do will make it down there look quite different to how it used to be. How do I even say this? If you're engaging with a partner in that regard, they're gonna have no problem finding it. You will not have to ever worry about that. Bottom growth is one of the first things that I noticed literally within the first week. I was like, something's tingling down there. So that's to look forward to. But what I would say is that, like, look, that is the most sensitive part of anybody's body. The fact that it's bigger, you have a better target. Love it. It can be used in a mouth way, in a similar technique as you would imagine a man would have that done. So that's all I'm gonna say about bottom growth. But smash, absolute smash. Following on from that, we have libido increase. I don't know a single trans man or like any type of person that's been on testosterone that has not had this. My libido was so high that I just became obsessed with like any man I thought was like vaguely attractive. So that's definitely something to look out for. I don't want this to get flagged. I already had a high libido before testosterone. That was a thing that like everybody that knew me had to deal with. That sounds so bad. I was not a predator. Look, we all have private accounts. We're all tweeting all over the place. I don't even remember where I was going with this. It's like when men are low on testosterone, when they get older, they start testosterone and the increase will be there. Absolute smash. Most of the time smash, sometimes a pass when it's like too much and you can't deal with the situation anymore because it hurts. Moving on, we have increased libido, but we also have increased appetite, which means you'll be hungry as I didn't eat that much before testosterone because I didn't have the appetite. As soon as I started testosterone, I was eating 3 meals a day, which is normal and good and advisable, and you should do that too, but I was not doing that before testosterone. I don't know if it's, I'd say it's mostly a pass. Smash because like, who doesn't enjoy eating food, but pass because if maybe there's the increased anger, being hangry on testosterone, especially when you first start it and your hormones are all over the place, is difficult to deal with. So I'd say pass. Vascularity, absolutely smash. Don't know anybody that doesn't like this change. By vascularity, I mean like your arms being more veiny. When I was a kid, I'd see a man with veiny arms and that is all I would look at. I got obsessed. No, I'm not gonna go forward. So vascularity, 100% smash. Never met a person that doesn't like veiny arms. So we're moving on to more of the side effects now because I told you I would talk about the side effects. Hot flashes, for me at least, I would say are literally one of the worst aspects of going on testosterone or literally any type of hormone. It's not exclusive to like trans healthcare, it's exclusive to people that have like hormones that are all over the place. Essentially, when you start testosterone, you'll kind of go through early menopause, which means that you'll get those hot flashes that your 50-year-old mother is getting. And I think it's beautiful going through puberty and menopause at the same time. No, it's not. It's not fun. My hot flashes were so bad. It felt like prickly heat. You know when you're about to throw up and you get that like real rush of heat? Like your throat starts watering and you just get that sudden like, I'm too hot. I had that for a long while and it's probably because my levels weren't great. I was on a testosterone type that was just not suited to my body. You'll get the worst of it when your hormones are just like really out of balance. Like your estrogen is dropping. It sucks. Pass. Next side effect is stroke. I've put stroke, heart attack, and premature death in one section to get it out of the way. Now, will you get a stroke when you start testosterone? Probably not. Will you have a heart attack? Probably not. Why are you bringing it up, Noah? Because I have to bring it up in any testosterone video because there's essentially always comments of people being like, oh, well, now you're gonna have a stroke and you're gonna have an early death. I hope it was worth it. Ugly lesbian. What it means is that when you start testosterone, your likelihood of having a heart attack will be increased slightly to the level of if you were born a guy. Like essentially, like if you have a brother, your likelihood of having a heart attack or stroke will be increased to his level because testosterone thickens the skin. Sorry doctor, I had a stroke because my skin too fat. No, it's because it thickens your blood. It thickens your blood, which could increase your likelihood of having a stroke or a heart attack. I personally, myself, never had a stroke or a heart attack or premature death. Next side effect for B, balding. This is a big one. I'm lucky enough that that's not really part of my genetics. Like, if people in your family, I think it's like your mom's side of the family, if men on her side of the family are bald, you will probably go bald. If they're like kind of balding, you will probably start balding. There are treatments that you can have. You can start minoxidil, you can start finasteride. Obviously, they come with their own side effects, so a lot of people that end up going bald on testosterone go off T, start treatment for that. It is, like, solvable. You can solve it with medication. I'm gonna give that a big pass. Absolutely pass on balding. Next side effect of testosterone, vaginal atrophy. I go for a pass, I would say. I don't know how to say this without sounding weird. I'm all good, by the way, if you were wondering if that's something I'm struggling with. No.
Cause I be the baddie beat, Barbie tank, banging body beat.
There are treatments that you can do. You can have topical estrogen up there, which will not affect your overall hormone levels. It will just be topical. But the most important thing is that you do get checked. You need to go in for those pap smears. You need to go in for those ultrasounds. As uncomfortable as they are, you're on a medication that is likely to affect stuff down there. It will maybe be a bit drier, a bit smaller, a bit painful if, you know, you experience atrophy. You just gotta be on top of it. There are things you can do about it. Coming up to the last couple ones, we'll veer away from side effects. I've covered most of the big ones. Facial masculinization. We love it. Don't know anybody that doesn't love it. Comes along alongside the facial skin thickening. Your face will broaden out. Your jaw will maybe look broader. Your face will be wider. Your nose will grow though. That's the one I wasn't looking forward to. I had, you know, little nose growth. Obviously, smash. Absolutely smash. But after that, we have facial hair. Not everybody gets it. Again, to do with balding, depending on your genetics. If your family, the men in your family started growing beards pretty early, you'll probably grow beards pretty soon after you start testosterone. If you're like me, where my brother couldn't start growing a beard until he was 25, I'm 26 now, but I started puberty way after him. My dad didn't really grow a beard until he was 30. I'd say pass, mostly because it's at the point now where I need to shave it every day, otherwise it looks real just gross. Just gross and sticky outy and messy, which means that when I shave it, I get ingrown hairs. And then there's spots, which really piss me off. Last up, we have chest shrinkage. So obviously, if you started testosterone before you've had top surgery, you're still gonna have a chest. And I feel like it's the majority of the time people will go for testosterone before they go for surgery if they want both of those things. What people have found is that when they're on testosterone and they still have a chest, their chest will shrink a lot. And I don't know if it's because of body fat redistribution. I think your hormones will probably tell your body and your mind hey, you shouldn't have these things. For some people, I'm not gonna say that if you're on testosterone, you still haven't had top surgery, that they're just gonna drop off. They're not gonna drop off, but they may be a little bit easier to bind. So, undeniably smash. So, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments if you would smash or pass these changes, if there's specific stuff about testosterone that you found you love, other stuff that you hate. Drop a comment. Have a good day or don't. See you later, losers. A goodbye. Hello, underachievers. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. It's literally fine.
I'll just keep this in.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Wait, can you do that? You can change stuff around. You can, whoa. When you start testosterone, you'll be just as likely to have a heart attack